These machines once rumbled off assembly lines as attainable performance cars for the masses. Today, they command seven-figure prices, transforming from weekend warriors to blue-chip investments. Number 1. 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda Convertible. The ultimate Mopar muscle car, the 1971 Hemi Cuda Convertible routinely commands prices exceeding $3 million at auction. Only 11 examples were built in 1971, with just 3 equipped with the 4-speed manual transmission. One such example sold for $3.5 million at Mecum in 2016. The 71 model year represented peak Mopar muscle with its bold styling and the legendary 426 Hemi engine producing 425 horsepower. These convertibles are particularly valuable as they represent the final year of Hemi production before emissions regulations brought the muscle car era to an abrupt end. A pristine example with the rare combination of 4-speed transmission, build documentation, and verified ownership history can approach $4 million in today's market, making it the most valuable pure muscle car model. Number 2. 1967 Chevrolet Corvette L88. The L88 Corvette was Chevrolet's thinly disguised race car for the street. Equipped with the 427 cubic inch L88 engine conservatively rated at 430 horsepower, actual output exceeded 550 horsepower. These rare Corvettes were designed primarily for racing competition. Only 20 were built in 1967, the first year of L88 availability. These cars were lacking heaters, radios, and other creature comforts to save weight, making them impractical for street use, but formidable on the track. A documented 1967 L88 Corvette sold for $3.85 million at Barrett-Jackson in 2014, establishing it as one of the most valuable American cars ever sold at auction. The combination of rarity, racing heritage, and the legendary 427 engine creates an irresistible package for serious collectors. Number 3. 1967 Shelby GT 500 Super Snake. The one-of-one 1967 Shelby GT 500 Super Snake stands as a unique piece of muscle car history. Created specifically for a Goodyear tire test, this Mustang was equipped with a modified version of the Ford GT40 Mark II 427 engine producing approximately 600 horsepower. After the successful high-speed tire test, Shelby American considered producing a limited run of Super Snakes, but the projected $8,000 price tag, double the cost of a standard GT500, made the project economically unfeasible. This left just one example ever built. The car sold for $2.2 million at Mecum's Kissimmee auction in 2019, reflecting its unique status and direct connection to Carroll Shelby. As a one-of-one factory special with documentation and extreme performance capabilities, the Super Snake represents the ultimate Shelby Mustang. Number 4. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 LS6 Convertible. The 1970 Chevelle SS 454 with the LS6 engine option represented peak muscle from General Motors. The LS 6454 cubic inch V8 produced 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, making it the most powerful production engine Chevrolet had offered to that point. While LS6 hardtops are valuable, the convertible variants are exponentially more so due to their extreme rarity. Only 20 LS6 convertibles were produced, with even fewer optioned with the 4-speed manual transmission. A fully documented 1970 Chevelle SS454 LS6 convertible sold for $1.7 million at Mecum in 2013. Perfect examples with rare color combinations, matching numbers, and complete documentation can approach $2 million in today's market, placing them among the most valuable Chevrolets ever produced. Number 5. 1970 Plymouth Hemi Superbird. The Plymouth Superbird, with its aerodynamic nose cone and towering rear wing, was built specifically to dominate NASCAR and lure Richard Petty back to Plymouth from Ford. Federal regulations required street versions be sold to the public, resulting in approximately 1,935 Superbirds being built. The rarest and most valuable configuration is the 426 Hemi-powered version, of which only 135 were produced. These cars combined outlandish styling with the raw power of the Hemi engine, creating an iconic muscle car that epitomized the era's excess. A pristine Hemi Superbird sold for $1.65 million at Mecum's 2022 Kissimmee auction. The car's documented racing heritage, limited production numbers, and unmistakable appearance have driven values into seven-figure territory, with particularly well-preserved examples commanding premium prices. Number 6. 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona Hemi. The Dodge Charger Daytona was the Superbird's predecessor, featuring similar aerodynamic modifications to dominate NASCAR competition. Only 503 Daytonas were built, with just 70 equipped with the 426 Hemi engine. The Daytona was the first American production car to be officially clocked at over 200 miles per hour, achieving this milestone at Talladega Superspeedway in 1969. This racing pedigree, combined with the car's distinctive appearance and limited production, has driven values skyward. A documented Hemi Daytona sold for $1.43 million at Mecum in 2022. The car's competition history, limited production, and status as the first of Chrysler's Aero Warriors make it one of the most significant muscle cars ever produced and a blue-chip investment for serious collectors. Number 7. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. The 1969 Camaro ZL1 represents one of GM's most exotic muscle car creations. Ordered through the Central Office Production Order COPO system, these rare Camaros featured an all-aluminum 427 cubic inch engine developed for Can-Am racing and officially rated at 430 horsepower. Only 69 ZL1 Camaros were built, making them among the rarest production Chevrolets. The cars were essentially purpose-built drag racers with thin-wall aluminum block engines that saved over 100 pounds compared to iron block 427s. A documented ZL1 Camaro sold for $1.1 million at Barrett-Jackson in 2023. The combination of extreme rarity, the exotic aluminum engine, and documented racing provenance has pushed values into the seven-figure range, with exceptional examples now approaching $1.5 million. Number 8. 1965 Shelby GT 350R. The Shelby GT 350R was the competition version of the already potent GT 350 Mustang. Only 36 R models were built, designed specifically for SCCA B production racing, where they dominated the competition. The GT 350R featured a modified 289 cubic inch V8, producing over 350 horsepower, a side exit exhaust system, and extensive weight reduction measures. These purpose-built racers established the Mustang's performance credentials in SCCA competition. A GT 350R with documented racing history sold for $4.1 million at Mecum in 2022, setting a record for any Mustang sold at auction. While standard GT 350S are valuable, the R model's racing pedigree and extremely limited production have established it as one of the most collectible Shelby models ever created. Number 9. 1969 Dodge Coronet Hemi RT Convertible. The 1969 Dodge Coronet RT Convertible with the 426 Hemi engine represents one of the rarest Mopar muscle cars ever produced. Only 7 were built, and just 2 with the 4-speed manual transmission. These cars combined the brute force of the 425 horsepower Hemi with open-air cruising and the stylish looks of the Coronet RT. Their extreme rarity and high original cost meant that few were ordered, creating a perfect storm of desirability for today's collectors. A documented Hemi Coronet RT Convertible sold for just over $1 million at Mecum in 2019. With fewer than 10 examples built, these cars rarely come to market, and when they do, they command prices well into the seven-figure range, particularly those with the 4-speed transmission. Number 10. 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 429. The Boss 429 Mustang was created to homologate Ford's hemispherical combustion chamber engine for NASCAR racing. Between 1969 and 1970, just 1,359 Boss 429 Mustangs were produced, each hand-built by Carcraft with extensive modifications to fit the massive engine in the Mustang's engine bay. The Boss 429 engine was officially rated at 375 horsepower, though actual output was closer to 500 horsepower. These cars were built primarily to satisfy NASCAR rules rather than for street performance, resulting in a somewhat docile street manner despite the engine's racing pedigree. The most pristine examples of Boss 429 Mustangs now regularly sell for $500,000 to $600,000, with a perfect example selling for just over $1 million at Mecum in 2022. Their limited production, hand-built nature, and connection to NASCAR racing have elevated them to the top tier of collectible Mustangs. These 10 muscle cars have transitioned from accessible performance vehicles to million-dollar collectibles due to their perfect combination of rarity, performance, historical significance, and racing heritage. The muscle car era's brief existence, from the mid-1960s to the early 1970s, created a limited supply of these iconic vehicles, while growing worldwide collector interest continues to drive demand. While these cars originally sold for prices ranging from $3,500 to $10,000 when new, their astronomical appreciation over the past 5 decades has outpaced traditional investment vehicles, creating a market where the rarest examples command prices previously reserved for European exotics and pre-war classics. The 7-figure muscle car represents the ultimate intersection of American automotive history, performance engineering, and collector demand, transforming these once attainable machines into rolling investments that continue to appreciate with each passing year.